Welcome back, students. This is Mr. Morris. Today we're going to learn how to use the sweep function in Autodesk Inventor. And we are going to do two little projects in there. One project is going to be we're going to make an Allen wrench. And the other project is we're going to make a pipe or a pipe elbow. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so your screen should now look like this. So some people came in late. Go ahead and pull up Inventor and pull up to this screen here. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and select New. And go ahead and select English. Select English. Select Standard IPT. And select Create. All right. Your screen should now look like this. All right. So now what I'd like for you to do is go to Start 2D Sketch. Start 2D Sketch. And click on the XY plane. Now, the important thing about a sweep is you have to make sure you see this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. Your profile sketch needs to intersect one of these axes. One more time, your profile sketch needs to intersect one of these axes. All right. Now, the reason why is because after we create our profile sketch, what we're going to do is we are going to turn on a plane and we are going to project the profile onto the plane. And then we're going to sketch a cross section of some sort. And then we're going to sweep that cross section around an irregular curve. Okay, it could be around an irregular curve. So it's a really neat function. So let's get started. Now, go up here to, again, you can pan around, hold down the middle. Scroll wheel. What I like to do is I like to go to, for example, line, and I'm going to click somewhere in this general area. And I want you to notice something. What am I doing? I'm crossing the y-axis. This is important because here shortly, we will be turning on the plane that intersects the y-axis so that we can project our profile and create a cross-section that we can apply to this two-dimensional drawing. So we're going to make an Allen wrench. Some of y'all should know what an Allen wrench is. It's a hexagonal cross-section used for socket head cap screws and things like that. And you've seen them a lot in toolboxes and things. So we're going to go ahead and I'm using some approximate dimensions. They won't be exact. I did look up a chart earlier But that's okay. I think I can just pull up some of my own dimensions here. I'm going to make this line here 3 inches long, but make sure after you enter the 3, you tab and make sure your angle is 0 degrees. Type in 0, enter. All right, now I'm going to go straight up like this. Now I can see that that's 90 degrees, but I made that arm 3 inches. Maybe we'll make this one, I don't know, 1.5. And I'm going to hit the tab key and make sure it's 90 degrees. Enter. Do a right click. Okay. Okay, so this is the beginning of our Allen wrench. Now, as we know, Allen wrenches don't have a sharp 90 like this. It has a rounded corner here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to fillet, and I'm going to try a radius of 0.375. Again, I'm making these numbers up. But that's okay. This will give you the general idea. And that looks good to me. So close out the fillet box. Now we have a sketch. We have a sketch 3 inches long, this line, 1.5 inches long, this vertical line. And then we have a radius here of 0.375 at 90 degrees. So I'm happy with that. That's my profile. It's very simple. I'm going to finish my sketch. Now, you can zoom out with the scroll wheel and pan. All right. Now what I need to do is I need to come over here to the browser, and I want you to expand the one that says origin. Expand the one that says origin, and then come down to where you see the YZ plane. And I want you to do a right click on that. And I want you to turn on the visibility of it. Okay. So basically, that line is essentially piercing that plane. Okay. I'll show you. You don't need to do this, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. See, there's the plane, and it's piercing. This line is piercing that plane. Go back to my isometric view. All right. Now what I want to do is I need to project this line onto this plane. And when I do that, when I project this line onto this plane right here, it's going to put a little point. It's hard to see, but you'll see a little point. All right. So first thing we have to do is go to Start 2D Sketch, and click on this plane right here. And then get back into the isometric view. Now I'm going to sketch on this plane, but before I can sketch on this plane, I need to go to Project Geometry, and click on this line. When you do, you have to have microscopic vision here, but there is a little point. You can barely see it right there. It's yellow. Right there where the line pierces the plane. All right. Now what I want you to do there is I would like for you to come over here where it says rectangle, and I want you to arrow down, and I want you to come down here to where it says polygon. Poly means many, and gon means many sides, okay? So we're going to click on polygon, And the default is a hexagon, which is what I want, because if you look at the Allen wrench, right, the cross section is a hexagon. So it's already 6 sides. If you bring your cursor over to where the line pierces the plane, you will see a green dot appear, right? As soon as you see that green dot appear, click, and I want you to drag out, I'm trying to take that point right there and stay on that axis. See, if you take this, it will kind of snap. Well, it's not really snapping, so you have to kind of be careful. Just touch off on the axes there, and I'm going to click. Then I'm going to do a right click. Okay, we have to put some dimensions on this. So I'm going to go to the dimension tool. I'm going to click here and here. I'm going to drag this down. We're going to make this a 1/4 inch. So type in 0.25 and select the green check mark. All right. So we're done with the modeling for the most part. We're going to hit the finish sketch. We're going to go to, now this is the new tool right here. This is the new tool called sweep. Select sweep. Notice when we do that, it automatically picks up our closed profile. Now we have to select, it's automatically prompting us to select the path. Select the path and then select OK. Now, congratulations, you've made an Allen wrench. I'm going to turn off this plane. I no longer need it. So I'm going to come over to the browser, right click, turn off the visibility. It's gone. Now, I mean, it's an Allen wrench. I didn't use the exact dimensions. I mean, you can look that up on the internet to find the exact dimensions of an Allen wrench. But we are going to dimension this, but we're going to give it a material first. So I'm going to come over here. First, I'm going to file, and I'm going to save as. And for right now, I'm just going to call it Allen wrench. All capital letters. Allen wrench, all capital letters. And notice it's going to put it in our machinist. I don't want to put it in our machinist directory. I'm just going to probably put this in. I tell you what, you can go ahead and leave it in the, that's fine. You can go ahead and leave it in the machinist hammer directory. Go ahead. We probably should have created a new project, but that's okay. Select save. All right. Notice when I selected save, here's my file name, right? We've been doing this forever in this class, but we're learning new features each time we meet. You know, Mr. Morris never likes to use the generic material, right? So I'm going to right click on Allen wrench, come down to iProperties. I'm going to come over here to physical, go down to generic, and we're going to click on steel alloy. Mr. Morris likes steel alloy. Apply, close. All right, there's our beautiful Allen wrench. Now what we're going to do is make a very simple drawing of this. It doesn't have very many dimensions to it. And then we're going to do a pipe elbow. Okay, we'll do a different video for that one. That will go just as quick. All right. So we're going to go to File, new. And we're going to click on, oh, I'm sorry, cancel out of that. Mr. Morris got carried away. Go to file, new, and we want to select English, but this time we want to select ANSI, American National Standards Institute. The units are in inches, and IGW means inventor drawing file. Select create. We don't need a drawing this size, especially for a little small Allen wrench. So we're going to come over here, right click on sheet 1, and we're going to edit the sheet. We're going to change it to a size A sheet, and we're going to leave it at landscape. And you want to do like May does, she moves her title block all over the place. She likes to be different. Select OK. Now watch. I would like to go to a base, and I'm going to leave it 1:1. I think that's good enough. I'm going to select OK. I'm going to move, take my cursor, move close to the view. The red box will appear. Hold down the left mouse button and drag it slightly to a new location. Okay. Now, the other thing I would like to do, since I want to show the cross section of the Allen wrench, what we can do is we can project this view up like this. Right click, create. So now you can see the cross section of the Allen wrench. How many of y'all have these two views? Now, you know me, Mr. Morris likes to show an isometric because it's a pictorial. It kind of gives you a nice picture of what you just created. Go to projected, click on the front view and drag up at the 1 o'clock position. Do a left click, right click, create. And you probably want to shade that. So move your cursor near the view, do a right click, edit the view, and we're going to turn on the shade. Select OK, and there you go. All right. Now we would like to put some dimensions on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to annotate, and I'm going to add a center mark first, right about here. See my center mark? Right click, OK. I'm going to go to the dimension tool. You can change this to 3 decimal places if you want. You can go to precision and tolerance and just change it to 3. Select OK. It's 2 5/8. That's a nice nominal dimension. If you want, you can also add this dimension as well. And I'm going to do another one. Okay, like I said, Mr. Morris was making up some numbers for the most part earlier. You can find the actual numbers of an Allen wrench or dimensions and make one exactly like you see from a spec sheet or a cut sheet. Now I'm gonna come up here to the hex, right? This is important because obviously Oh, you notice how I kind of came down here and touched off that dimension. See how it keeps it lined up? And this is across the flats. So you have two dimensions. The one you want is, you can double click on this and go to text, and you can put a note here across flats. If things start getting in the way, you can always move your isometric view. Across the flats means the dimension across the flats. If you look at a hex, you got points. This would be from point to point, but we went from flat to flat. I could go here. I could also go here. I didn't do this, but it's the same. Okay, but you don't need to put this one here. All right. Let's go ahead so that we're consistent with our drawings. We'll go ahead and put our view labels. There's top view. If I spell it right. Hold down the left mouse button and drag, make it bold, underline, okay. Right click, okay. I'm just gonna kind of hold it down, hover over it till the green appears in red. Hold down the left mouse button and drag it where you wish to drag it. And I might move this view up a little bit more. I'm gonna right click on this and copy. I didn't like it. Let's see. Right click, copy, right click. Mr. Morris, why you use the same label? Well, I use the same label, then I go back and edit the label. Hit the escape key a couple times to get out of that mode. And I'm gonna double click on this. And we're gonna call this the front view. Okay, click on this. We're gonna call this the ISO view. Now all we have to do is our title block. So come over here to the browser. Here's the file name. Do a right click on that. Go down to iProperties. And here we are. Go to summary. The title of this is, we're just going to call it Allen wrench. And the subject is CAD 140. Technical, you don't need to put technical drawing, that's what it is. The author is your last name, uppercase. The manager is my last name, uppercase. And the company, you type it out, Virginia Peninsula Community College. Now, everything underneath this line, we're not going to worry about. You could type in some information here related to your project, and that would be fine. It just wouldn't show up on your drawing. Go to project. Here, designer is you. Engineer is you. Authority is me. Okay. And then go to status, checked by you. Click on the date. Engineer approved by you. Check on the date. You would not make it unless I approve it. So my name goes in the last one. Check on the date, apply, and close. I'm gonna file, save. And it's going to our machinist. That's okay. I really should have created a new project, but I didn't. And just say, okay, and you're good. Now we're going to look. You need to save a PNG of this. Go to File, Export, Image, and you're going to arrow down till you find a PNG. Make sure you remember what directory you saved it in. Save. File. Now we need to open up the drawing. We're going to go to File, Export, PDF. Save. And those would be the two things you submit. So I will post, I haven't created nothing. It's just hang on to this. After I'm done with my lectures, I will go into Canvas and create a place for all of this. Okay. And I'll post a video later. Now we're going to do the same. We're going to do another one of these, but we're going to do just a very simple pipe elbow. It's a very simple pipe elbow. Actually, it looks more like a tube fitting. It is an elbow, but it looks more like a tube-shaped elbow rather than a pipe. Okay, and I'm making up my own dimensions as we go along. Again, you can look up on the internet and you can look up standard dimensions for elbows and have at it. All right. So I'm gonna file, I'm gonna save this one more time so I know it's there. File, close, and close out these files. I'm gonna stop the share for a minute and I'm gonna come back in. And now we are going to work on the pipe elbow. So I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. Mr. Morris, do you machine pipe elbows? No. You might possibly machine the flange for an elbow, but the reason I'm showing you this because I want you to be aware of some of the features in Inventor that you can use possibly down the road for some of your other projects. Okay. And we might do even one more of these next week. It's hard to believe the week is up. I'm scratching my head thinking, I can't believe this week is over. We got one more day. It's like, where are these weeks going to? All right. So here we are, getting ready to make a new file. Okay, we're going to go to New, English, Standard IPT, Create. Pretty soon, we're going to have a test. And the reason I'm telling you this is because the whole semester, Mr. Morris has shown you how to do every single step. And if you notice, it's the same thing. It's different geometry, different features, but for the most part, it's the same process. I will give you a study guide. You'll come in one day and you'll have the whole time to do it. But it's time to see what you can do on your own. Because all you've been doing is recreating what I've been doing. Now it's time for you to show us what you can do. All right. Go to Start 2D Sketch, Start 2D Sketch, and click on the XY plane. I'm going to zoom out some. I'm going to pan like this. Remember, we got to go to line, line, and I'm going to click over here. This is the second quadrant, right? In the second quadrant, click. And I'm going to make a line, let's see, maybe 6 inches long. Tab and make it 90 degrees. Enter. And what was my mistake? I'm going to undo that. What was my mistake? I put 90, sorry. Click here. I'm going to drag the line 6 inches, hit the tab key and make it 0. Enter. Now Mr. Morris is doing it right. Gonna go up 6 inches, hit the tab key, 90, enter. Do a right click. Okay. All right. So that doesn't look like a pipe, Mr. Morris. No, it doesn't. Not yet. We need to put a fillet because we know that a pipe elbow is rounded. What do you think might be a good radius to use? I'm going to try 1.5. You know, you can test it first and see if you like it. Again, there's actual dimensions of this of a pipe online. Maybe I'll make it 2 inches. Okay, so I'm going to undo that. Try it one more time. Go to fillet and make it 2. And click here, click here. I like that. Finish. Yours said failed. Okay, I'm going to do mine. Do you, it might say fail if you have a number smaller than 6 here. The 6 inches and 6 inches, go to fillet. Maybe you're typing a very large number here. Make sure you type in 2, not 20 or something like that. You can type in 2.0 if you want. Click on this line. It should not fail. There it is. Still failing. Finish the sketch. How many of y'all have this? Did it fail this time?
Mine's still failing.
Yours is still failing? Okay, you know I'm gonna charge you $5 because I gotta get that right. Okay. Can somebody else help? Yeah, I'm gonna see if they can figure out what we did. Right click. They got it? Okay. Now recall, we have to turn on a plane. We have to turn on a plane that intersects, one of these line segments. So I come over here and you can hover first. Like, for example, that one would not work. That one would not work, but this one does because it's perpendicular to the line segment. So do a right click, turn on the visibility of it, okay? The reason we do that is because we're getting ready to draw on that plane. So we're going to start 2D sketch, and click on that plane. Get back into isometric. Now this is the part that's hard for Mr. Morris because Mr. Morris doesn't see that well. But I'm going to go to project geometry. A lot of people forget this step. And they get frustrated because they forget this step. Then select project geometry again, and then click on this line. It's going to project that line as a point on that plane. And you have to have a microscope to see it, but it's right there. Okay. There's a little yellow dot. It's very hard to see, but it's there, I promise you. Go to circle, circle, and we're going to click. It'll turn green when it snaps to that point. Click, and we're going to drag out. Let's drag out a 2-inch diameter circle. Right click, okay. Go to circle, circle center point. We're going to put a concentric circle here. Concentric circle means it shares the same center. And we're going to make this 1.75. Enter. Do a right click. Now it looks like it's not correct, but if you want to see, go to your view cube and you can see that it's fine. It looks distorted looking for some reason in this isometric view. Now we're going to finish the sketch. I'm going to finish the sketch, and we're going to sweep. Make sure you hover. You don't want to sweep this. You don't want to sweep all of that. You just want to sweep that. You want to sweep that cross section. And what is your path? If it doesn't seem to like it, go to click on this and then click on path. Sometimes it may not, if it's giving you trouble, just click on that path arrow. And I think that looks great. Say okay. Now you got a pipe elbow. Now I'm going to turn off this plane. I don't need to have it on. Do a right click, turn off the visibility. I'm going to file, save as, we're going to call this pipe elbow. Save. Let's make it copper, because it looks really more like a tube, an elbow for tubing, copper tubing. So come over here to your file name, right click on that, go down to iProperties, come over here to physical, material, we're going to find copper alloy, apply, close. Very reddish color, huh? File, save. Now we need to make a drawing of it. File, new. English. Come down here and select ANSI, American National Standards Institute. And you can see it's in inches. IGW's inventor drawing file, create. We don't want a size D. That's a very large sheet of paper. Come over here, right click on sheet 1 and edit the sheet. And we're going to leave it. This time we're going to do portrait. Okay. And we're going to select okay. But I don't want a size D. So that was a good mistake that I made. That's a good mistake. Come back over here, right click on that, and we're going to edit the sheet. And I want it to be a size A. Okay, now, sometimes it's good to make mistakes. It reinforces, when you do learn it correctly, it does reinforce what you've learned. Go to base. And this time I'm looking at that at 1/4 scale. I'm thinking, you know, I probably could make that a half scale. Let's see what a half scale looks like. I like that. But what I want to do is I want to flip it that way. Select OK. What's the hidden line mean? Means it's a pipe, right? Or a tube. I want to project this right here, right? I want to project this view. Click, right click, create. One more view for us, right? Project. Mr. Morris, he loves his isometric views, doesn't he? Left click, right click, create. Now we got a problem, right? Because it's kind of big. So what we might want to do is come back in here and do edit the view. And we might want to change this to, I don't know. Let's see, we had change it to 3/8 or something. We're also going to change this one to 3/8. We want to shade this. We want to shade that. All right. Now we would like to put in some center marks. So go to annotate. Go to bisector first. You're going to click here and here, here and here. Hit escape. Now, if you want, you can make these intersect. I'm also going to put a center mark here and then bisector here. I'm not going to get carried away with the dimensions here because as a machinist or a technical drafts person, you're not going to necessarily be dimensioning standard parts. You might. In some cases, most cases, you won't. All right, so let's see how I want to do this. I'm going to go to dimension. And I'm going to click here and here. And I'm going to place the dimension right there. So, okay. Now, right click, okay. I don't like, I'm going to pull this back some. I don't like the dimension crossing over that too much. I'm going to put another dimension right here. Look. Look, you want to be consistent as far as your spacing for your dimensions. If you want to, you can also put in a bisector for that. And by the way, you can't fix this, so don't try. I've tried for many semesters. You said little, you can't trim it, you can't click on it and drag it. It's not going to happen. But we want to put the radius there, right? By the way, what you can do to make this look neater is you can just pull this up like that. And I'm going to dimension this radius. Now I'm gonna come over here and I'm going to dimension this. And I'm going to dimension this. Okay, we're gonna fill out our title block now. I probably should put our view labels first. So here, this is the front view, highlight, underline, okay. Right click, okay. Right click, copy, right click, paste here and here. This one, I went to bisector and I clicked this curve and this one. All right. I had a student one time. He was so happy, did a beautiful job with his drawing. Absolutely beautiful. But guess what he forgot to do? He forgot to edit he called every view the front view. So we don't want to do that. So come over here. And Mr. Morris just used an abbreviation for right side. I just call it RS view. Okay. And up here, we don't have to write out the whole word isometric. It's obvious what that is. And in actuality, you don't have to write the labels in the real world, but I do it because it's a learning tool for you. Isn't that cool? You learn how to do sweeps today. Now, we need to come in here and we need to fill out our title block. So right click on file name, iProperties, go to summary, and title is pipe, elbow, all uppercase, CAD 140. The author is you, uppercase letters. The manager is me, and the company is Virginia Peninsula Community College. And here is the line. Again, all this stuff here. You could put some comments. It won't show up. You can say learned how to use the sweep feature. Say that Mr. Morris learns how to spell it. Sweep feature in Autodesk Inventor. Okay. I'm gonna go to fifth project. Designer is you. Engineer is you. Authority is me. Go to status. Checked by you. Should always check your work. Check off the date. You are the engineer on the project, but you might not be. Somebody else's name could go there. Check on the date. And then Mr. Morris, you're not going to make it till I approve it. Apply. Close. File. Save. Save. Pretty cool, huh? I guess that's a okay, or you learned another feature. All of these tools that I have taught you, you may not think that you've gained a lot, but you've gained a whole lot. You could get a job after you complete this school year. You can get a job. You could get a job as a junior designer if you wanted to. If you didn't even like the machining part, you could, because I have taught you an awful lot. You could also transfer right into our CAD program or mechanical engineering technology program with the skills you have learned in this program. Something to think about. All right, so let's go back to our pipe elbow and we're gonna go File, Export, Image, and pipe elbow. I don't know why that moved to a, I'm just gonna put mine on downloads. File, export, PDF, save. All right, I'm gonna stop the share. That pretty much completes today's lecture. It is 8:50. Wow. That means you have a lot of time that you could do what? I'm gonna stop this recording here.